What lessons are you taking from this match?
I think it's that we just need to keep improving the stuff that we have been improving.
Is the team's confidence high?
It's super high, man. You have no clue how high it is right now.
What would you say are Carroll's aspirations for what this season's going to hold?
What lessons are you taking from this match?
I think it's that we just need to keep improving the stuff that we have been improving.
Is the team's confidence high?
It's super high, man. You have no clue how high it is right now.
What would you say are Carroll's aspirations for what this season's going to hold?
Oh, what else besides the championship, right?
We're following Bruv right now, and it's all. Oh my god, what a right click onto the far up.
It's me.
Huge anti on the core be able to get that pick, but Lizard does go down in exchange. I think you're willing to take that trade, though.
Absolutely. Constant Rhyme is able to get 2, digs to the Corby and the Twisted Drew.
Three? Four? Wait, Constant Rhyme?
Lizard slides through the building and is able to res while still inside the building and brings back Benny Boy.
Mercy? And a huge anti. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
And Speed is back to another ult. He's going to pop it. He already has 2 picks in this fight. He's going for a 3rd. Now a 4th.
Every single time there's that assist from Lizard. Oh my gosh, bro!
But, we've already gone undefeated this year, so what's left but to make a run at the national championship.
Welcome everybody to the Carroll College Overwatch stream. We have the semifinals of Carroll's season tonight. Carroll College going to be going up against Louisiana State University, LSU. That's right, folks. You heard right. Carroll's made it to the big leagues now. Going to be an exciting one. I'm your host, Josh. Joining me, as he has been all season long, Brady Clark. Welcome, Brady.
Hello, everyone. Honestly, insane to see Carroll College, a school of 1,200 from Helena, Montana, playing LSU, who has 37,000 students and has alum Joe Burrow.
Yeah, right.
And Carroll College is going to play against them at eSports, which is kind of insane.
Brady, if I had told you when you were a student and a competitor for Carroll College's Overwatch team that you were going to be playing against LSU, what would your response have been?
I would have freaked out. Are you kidding? That would have been so stressful because usually, we're playing other community colleges, as you kind of saw in the intro video, but we're playing a whole college, a whole university that is just so big, has such a huge endowment, has so much support. And Carroll College is just an esports program that started a few years ago, much smaller school, much smaller funding, but we're still making it happen because we just have such great raw talent on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're looking at this, if you are the Carroll team, you've got to be at least a little bit nervous relative to everything else that's happened this season. But Carroll came in a higher seed than LSU.
Yeah.
LSU was in the other conference, so Carroll did not play them head-to-head during the season. How do you think the team is feeling right now?
So I actually, we have differing opinions. So if you ask Mr. Spee, who is our tank, when I messaged him earlier, I said, who are you guys playing tonight? And he said, LSU. And I said, wow, that's crazy. He said, is LSU big or something? And I was like, oh, brother, what are you talking about? So I explained to him, and he said, oh my gosh, that's exciting. And then you know what he said after that? He said, we're going to pull these bozos back to reality. So I think he's feeling very confident going in. Bruv.
Well, if you don't know who LSU is, then why does it matter? Why
That's true.
You don't care?
Yeah, that's true. Bruv, on the other hand, he has been telling me for a little while now that he is feeling nervous. I mean, I think part of it too, right? It's not just playing LSU, but it's now that you are in the semifinals for a national championship. If you win tonight, you are going to be playing in the finals for a national championship, which is something the Carroll College eSports program has never done before. I mean, it's absolutely going to be insane to see Carroll hopefully pull that off. We just need them to beat LSU tonight. So I think there's a lot of nerves on the team, but I think also there is a lot of positive reinforcement from the season that they've had. I mean, they've been having an excellent season. They've been playing out of their minds. I think I was talking about this with a friend earlier today. I think they've dropped like 4 or 5 maps. Like they haven't dropped a single match. And in those matches, they've maybe dropped four maps in total, which is just insane. Like Carroll is on a generational
I think that even might
run.
be a little generous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Carroll's not even losing points, right?
Right.
In Ilios, which Carroll gets to start at often, it's often a 2-0. We saw last week in the quarterfinals, Carroll goes to Kings Row, able to full hold and fully stomp their opponents in order to ensure that they are here in the semifinals today. So when you look at the resume of Carroll, it's clear that they have earned the opportunity and right to play up against LSU. My question for you is, Brady, do you think that we're going to see LSU? Now, LSU played against like Texas A&M last week, a team that Carroll did beat. Do you think it's a case that Carroll had the easier schedule, or do you think that Carroll has the resume to back up? And the skills to back up the resume that they've earned this season.
I think Carroll has. I mean, from what I've heard, right, is that Carroll has played against teams that are better than the teams that they're currently playing against. So the team that they're playing tonight, I told, lost 3-1 to the team that Carroll played last week. So during the regular season, LSU lost to the team that Carroll played last week, which was Northwestern Community College, I believe. And so I think already beating Northwestern shows that Carroll has got to be going into this match feeling confident if they're beating somebody that's already beaten LSU. That being said, we have not seen LSU play, so maybe they were just sandbagging that week or having an off week. And now that it's playoff times, they could be locking in.
It would, and you might be right, but I still think that I agree with you, because Carroll's wins haven't felt like it. Here's the big thing. What you can sometimes see against schools that don't always have the resume is that they will struggle to dispatch easy teams, right? They'll perform pretty well against good teams, like mid-level teams, and then they'll struggle to dispatch easy teams. And then by the time they run around to real competition, then they get rolled. I don't think that's an accurate description of Carroll. No. Carroll has absolutely, to your point, been blowing opponents out of the water since day one of this season. Nobody has come anywhere close to Carroll. And I think you're right that there was like 2 games that ended 3-1, but I think that's it. Otherwise, Carroll undefeated, absolutely rolling, and it's given Carroll the opportunity to test out different heroes, to try different compositions, to adapt when they are playing against different play styles. But the thing that has made Carroll so successful is that they have played so effectively as a 5-player unit that every team they play against scrambles to modify to Carroll. And that's the key. So tonight, Brady, you were telling me, sounds like LSU running it down on the Rhine.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Okay. I mean, Carroll's been doing good about VOD reviews, so I expect this to be correct, right? So
yeah, me too.
We're expecting a Rhine 1 trick. So let me ask you this then, Brady. Do you think you see Carroll run the same style and the same composition, which has been, if you're just joining us first time, welcome, glad to have you. Carroll's been running primarily, especially on Ilios, you have the Junker Queen, the Cassidy, the Sojourn, the Mercy, and the Ana. Does Carroll roll out that exact same composition into a Ryan comp, or do you see Spee pivot to something like the Mauga?
No, I think we just see them stick with what they've been running all season, right? Because that's what they're most comfortable with. That's what they've got the most practice with. And I think what you were saying about making teams adjust is 100% true. And that's what I'm interested to see in this match tonight against LSU, right? Because if the opposing tank is a Ryan one trick, but teams have been having to adapt to Carroll all season, I wonder if they're going to have to flex to something else, or if they're just going to try to keep running it down on the Ryan, right? And I think the first map's going to be super important for that in determining whether the Ryan is working or not. And if the Ryan doesn't work on first map, which I believe that it won't be, knock on wood, is that Carroll is going to then be the ones that are going to force LSU to change. And if it's a Ryan one trick, you're going to have a hard time adjusting to that. It looks like I'm getting invited to the lobby. So let's take a quick pause and introduce you to our players for tonight.
Lizard number 29, I am a freshman from Victor, Montana. I am a support player, I play Mercy, and I have been here for 2 seasons.
Hey, I'm Benny Boy. My number's 32. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Mahomet, Illinois. I'm a support main, and my favorite character is Ana. I've been on the team for 2 seasons.
Bruv, number 00. I'm a junior from Rigby, Idaho. I main BTS, play Sojourn, and this is my 6th season with the team.
I'm subscribing number 14. I'm a senior. I come from Normandy in France. I main DPS, Cassidy and Thorpe, and that's my 2nd season.
Hey, this is Mr. Spee. I'm a senior. I'm from Corona, California. I currently make tank for the team. Currently play Junker Queen, Sigma, Ram, any tank you think of. And I've been playing on the team for about 8 seasons now.
All right, welcome back. Brady, we just got an opportunity to see our players. Knowing that we're going to be playing into a Ryan composition here, we do know that the DPS and the supports are approximately the same levels. So we're expecting kind of an even scale match here. Which roles do you consider to be the most important when it comes to countering this Ryan strat that we're expecting to see tonight?
I think that it's going to be just kind of dependent on how much space Spee is able to make. And I think that the tank that we've seen him consistently make the most space on this season has been the Junker Queen. I don't know if would you agree with that?
I would. How do you think the Junker Queen, and this is kind of what I was asking about earlier, how do you think the Junker Queen plays into a shield like Ryan?
I think the thing is, like, the way that Carroll has been playing, I just don't know if it's a like, I think Spee has got a massive ego. Like, let's get that out there right now, right? So I think Spee is going to just walk right past a Ryan shield and is absolutely going to just not care. Like, I think the way that Spee has been playing and the way that Spee's Junker Queen has been so good, like, yes, there is ego, but it has been backed up by really good gameplay. I think just walk past the Ryan. At that point, the Ryan is going to probably put their shield down and start swinging to try and keep the Junker Queen off from walking in the rest of the team, which is going to open up angles for Bruv. It's going to open up angles for Constant Rhyme to be able to get those picks, especially with the damage boost from Lizard. So I honestly think that the Junker Queen is probably what we'll see, especially if we're going to Ilios, which Carroll loves Ilios. That's where we usually start
Carroll's
first map.
as a higher seed, Carroll gets the right to pick. So expect to go to Ilios again. Let me give you my answer here, Brady.
Okay.
If there is a Curie on the other side, then Bruv is going to have to carry. The second Spee makes any space, Bruv has to hit shots.
Yeah.
If there is no Curie, Benny Boy's cooldowns on Ana is going to play a critical role in determining the pace of the tank battle. If 100%. He is able to consistently put pressure and force the Ryan to just back up, because if he drops his shield, he's antied. If he drops his shield, he's slept over and over and over again, then he's never going to be able to make space. But the Curie cleanse is going to be a big role in kind of mitigating Benny Boy's abilities as Ana. If you're LSU and you've watched any of the streams that we have put out for you every week, then there should be a Curie on the other side. At that point, Bruv Lizard combo has to get picks. Carroll cannot be fighting even fights because if Spee gets out of position even a little bit, then the Rhyme will punish.
Right.
If Constant Rhyme or Benny Boy get out of position just a little bit in those team fights, then they're going to get punished unless Bruv and Lizard can ensure that Carroll is taking 5v4 fights again and again and again. So
100%.
Kiri, present, it's on Bruv and Lizard. They're the combo to watch. They're going to be the ones who turn the tide in Carroll's favor.
Yeah, and I think what's important to note, and this is where we got to give a special shout out to one of our casters throughout the season, Sean. He actually brought in his high school team to help Carroll practice. And the word on the street was that Benny Boy was hitting huge antis the entire time, especially on the tank. And so I think Benny Boy is well prepared for that. One thing, too, that I just want to add that I'm watching for tonight is alt usage. We've talked about this all season long, but alts are super important in the game of Overwatch. And I think what's going to be interesting tonight is that because the nerves are higher for some of the players, I think that means that we might see more impulsive or sporadic alts like, oh, we need to win this fight right now, or like, oh, I need to commit this alt in it because we're losing. But it might already be such a situation where that alt isn't going to turn the fight. And so I think what's going to be critical tonight is that even though Carroll is nervous, very justifiably, it's a semifinals against a huge school, I think it's imperative that Carroll tries to keep a cool head in these matches with their ultimates and not use them impulsively.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be the case. To that point as well, right? We are going to have perks again. This was the case in the quarterfinals match. Bruv's perk is going to be one of the biggest ones, right? The ability to charge to 150 on the overclock is going to be massive for him, just being able to take those hits. Benny Boy with the Bionade bounce, right? A couple of those are going to be pretty critical here. But they do go back oftentimes to Carroll completing successful ultimates. Here is something that's big, though. Carroll had an exceptional ultimate usage last week. I was so impressed at how well Carroll was able to effectively manage their ultimates during their quarterfinals match. They're definitely going to need to keep it up if they want to win. But it's honestly, I mean, that was the thing. Carroll's been near perfect all season long, except in ultimate usage.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the one thing that we always had been harping on. And so finally, Carroll has a game where there was no complaints. There were no poorly used ults. There were no weird timings. It was all excellent. And if Carroll can do that again, I don't see any way Carroll loses this match.
Yeah. It looks like Carroll is rolling out on their standard here. We've got Lizard on the Mercy, Benny Boy on the Ana, Bruv on the Sojourn, Constant Rhyme on the Cass, and Junker Queen for Mr. Spee. Interestingly, we are not seeing a Reinhardt from the opposing team. We are seeing a D.Va. So maybe we got bad info.
We got baited here.
Oh my god, we actually got so baited by Carroll. Bruv was trolling.
Well, maybe Bruv got trolled, right? But here we go. Carroll starts off against LSU. First quarterfinals match. Let's go.
So early on here, we're seeing a lot of poking. I think Carroll is kind of adjusting. I think they probably were expecting to see a Rhine come out pretty early on here.
Definitely. I mean, Spee has to be thrilled about this move into the D.Va, though. Oh, man, what a Bionade from Benny Boy. Holy smokes. Hits 4. There is no Kiri. Benny Boy's going to be able to feast. And here's the thing. I don't like the Brig pick at all out of LSU. I don't understand who the Brig is supposed to be keeping up. And instead, there we go. Bruv gets soft ghost. It's exactly what I was about to say. The fact that Lizard is going to be supporting Bruv means that Soft Ghost is going to be taking 1v2s all night long. Kane is going to get shot out of the air. And what? The Brig is just supposed to keep them up? They're never going to be able to get value out of this Brig. It's a weird choice.
Yeah, that biotic from Benny Boy is so huge at the beginning of the fight because that forces onto Dante PO5, I'm going to say, the D.Va. Forces them.
Dante was fine, Brady.
Okay, well, I just want to get their full name in, you know? LSU is forced back into this room where Bruv is currently standing around, and that means that Carroll's able to walk in the point and just secure it. Like, Spee is able to just touch his toe on, secure the point, and Carroll's able to capitalize off that.
And there goes Bruv again. Yeah, Bruv. There it is. A clean team fight, 5 rolled, done, wrapped. Carroll's going to be at 70% before LSU even smells the point.
Yeah, and there's going to be no ultimates on the side of LSU coming into this next fight, where we are going to have that Sojourn ult already. And Bruv is perk level 2.
Swap over to Ramatra.
Interesting.
Yeah. Swapper the Ramatra, still not the Rhine. I think the Brig's gonna get more value with the Ramatra than it was the Diva. But at this point, you're just so far behind already. Oh boy, yeah, walk into that, please.
The Echo jumps out of the room for whatever reason. Yeah, everyone just walk out. Yeah, okay. Line him up for Bruv. Bruv gets an easy 3.
It's fish in a barrel. It's fish in a barrel.
LSU Tigers in a barrel right there. Just line them up for Bruv. I mean, that's insane. And then we're coming into this too with now 4 ultimates for Carroll. No one's even gonna be able to touch, I don't think.
No one's gonna touch. No one's gonna touch. And they're taking a route that they're not going to even be able to get to point in time, even if they were uncontested.
Yeah.
What a weird first point from LSU. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. If I really do think the Rhine has a possibility to be interesting.
Yeah.
But you've got to play as a unit, and this Diva. Okay, here we go. We've got to swap off the Brig. I guess they're listening to stream. Because thank goodness they're swapping off that Brig. It doesn't make any sense out of LSU. They're going to the Juno. I mean, this is interesting, but again, I just don't think that they're going to be able to get the necessary pressure onto Bruv.
Yeah.
Bruv said last week in the weekend, come get me on high ground. I don't care.
Yeah, and nobody was able to deal with it, and it doesn't seem like LSU's really been able to deal with it. Especially as we saw them walk out of that room into an ulting Sojourn. I mean, we're just not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
Don't go easy. Let's bring this
If only the ults rolled over from rounds like other games do, you know what I mean? Carroll would have 4 ults going into this fight. Holy, it'd just be a roll. So we're going to see the fight move over to the Mega here as Mr. Speed kind of jumps in, claims that space, which is super important for Carroll because now they're kind of over the midway point.
The nice part about running into this Diva is that, oh my gosh, Bruv is just getting free farm. The Diva is trying to create space against Mr. Speed, which is a problem in and of itself because neither of Mr. Speed's cooldowns are affected by the Diva and the Diva's the Matrix, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, the Matrix.
So neither are stopped by Diva's Matrix. She's getting rolled by Mr. Speed, and Bruv is free farming on your supports and DPS.
Yeah, I mean, Bruv is just bringing so much value. He was saying that although he was nervous, his Sojourn shots were lining up very nicely, and I think we're seeing that pay off already. He's been getting these picks super early.
Yep. Here we go. There's the push onto Bruv onto the high ground. This is what we talked about. Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! Someone check his PC! Check his PC! Oh my god, this is filth!
That was insane! What do you do? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? If you push him off high ground and he just one-taps you as he's dropping to the ground?
Yeah, and I mean, the problem is too, right? Like, the Diva can go up and push off high ground as the Diva just did, but then, like, that means the rest of Carroll just gets to walk down main and jump onto this Ana and the Juno. It's like, there's no real win.
Exactly like what Bruv was talking about. This is something that we've seen a lot of teams try and pull against Carroll, where they swap to the Sombra in order to try and pressure Bruv and Lizard a little bit. The problem is that Bruv is so good at protecting Lizard, as is like Constant Rhyme as well too. Like, let's be honest, it's a team effort.
Right.
But I just don't see teams effectively getting rid of Lizard in a time that's effective enough. I think that goes to just how solid of a Mercy player she is. In order to dodge and avoid that kind of damage.
Josh, you see what I'm seeing? We got an overclock, and we also have 4 other ults for Carroll. Just pack it up.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Lizard does go down, but I mean, at this point, you're already down so many for LSU, it doesn't even matter, and you're already at 90%. Oh my god, and the headshot as the defense coming out of mech. Someone stop, bruh. Please. He's feasted.
Carroll needed 2 ultimates to win 2-0, and LSU did not get an ultimate.
Yeah.
They didn't. It's not that they didn't use an ultimate. It's that LSU didn't get an ultimate. None of their players hit 100% in either of those points.
Absolutely insane first round from Carroll. And yeah, Bruv gets play of the game. I mean, are we surprised by that? Absolutely not.
Get ready for a 3-piece play of the game from Bruv again.
Yeah.
This ends now.
3-piece combo coming up.
Oh my. Yeah, the 3-map play of the game out of Bruv. Gosh.
And I mean, you see
At this
two
point,
there.
we need to start.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I wasn't gonna say anything important.
I was just gonna say, obviously, you see there too, like the importance of perks, right? Because that perk that Bruv had as he went into both ultimates was the ability to charge his railgun up to 150. So that means that when he right clicks, he does 150 damage, and if a Mercy is damage boosting him, that does 300 damage, which is enough to basically one-shot any character that isn't a tank in the game, which is just insane, right? I mean, that perk is a huge
Pretty
boost.
sure that's a war crime.
Yeah, it's against the Geneva Conventions.
That's right. Well, hey Brady, guess what?
Did you see where they're taking them for map 2?
That's sure did. Do teams not watch?
They don't know. They don't know.
Do they not watch VODs? Do they like we put these out for you? We put these out every time. Okay, Brady, listen. I need to apologize to LSU. I will never disrespect them again. LSU has requested Winter Kings.
Yeah, they know game. They know game.
They get it. They know game. They know game. Tip of the cap, LSU, welcome. We were not aware of your game. We are pleased to have you grace our stream.
I remember last week when we had to play on regular Kings. Oh my god, that was terrible.
Travesty.
There was no snow.
Travesty.
There was no holiday cheer on the Kings Row map.
Unbelievable.
Really happy to see the return of Winter Kings. LSU is a very smart team.
Yes. Tip of the cap. Glad to have them here. This is great. Great camaraderie now.
Yeah, there's a lot of camaraderie in the chat. It's very nice to see. I do think this means Dante PO5, as they say. We'll be playing the Reinhardt this map though.
Yeah, I think that they would benefit from it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But the problem is, I mean, here's the issue, right? I think that you get more value out of the Rhine on Ilios, where you have an opportunity to try. I mean, I get we were talking about the way that we expect Mr. Spee to be able to handle the Rhine as the Junker Queen. Definitely, I definitely expected it. But here's the big question that I have here, right? So you run the Rhine here, but Spee also is fine running the Rhine here. He's fine running the Mauga. He's fine running the Ramatra. Like, why not run it on the map where you think you stand a chance of kind of like matching up against the Junker Queen, as opposed to running in the map where, again, if you check VODs, Carroll's ready to go.
Yeah, Carroll gets taken to this map all the time, and I don't think we've seen Carroll lose this map.
All the time.
Even this one time, Carroll was down by, like, the enemy team pushed and attacked in, like, 4 minutes, and Carroll still won the map.
Carroll attacked faster.
Yeah.
Carroll had 30 seconds more than the other team. It was like 4 minutes to 4.5 minutes. It was insane.
We're going to take in the winter cheer on stream. I mean, look at all of this.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. This is so lovely.
Beautiful.
What a great time to be on Kings Row. You know, I'm streaming from Virginia. We're supposed to get some ice tonight, so this is what my reality is gonna look like tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Looks like Carroll
I'd
chose
say
to
this is a
defend.
reality, but all those buildings are too tall for Idaho.
So Carroll chose to defend first. I like this out of Carroll. I think, you know, this kind of allows the other team to set the tempo, set the pace, and Carroll can respond in kind.
All right, here we go, Brady. We have this has to be like this comp is to Kings Row as peanut butter is to jelly.
Yeah.
You've got the Rhine, the Ana, the Brig, the May, the Widow. Probably won't block the Widow. I would probably expect to see the Echo. The Echo or the Sojourn is really who I expect to see out of it.
I have eyes on a sniper.
Just so everyone knows what's going on this map. So right now, LSU is going to be walking it down this center choke point that they're kind of coming from to this point that Constant Rhyme is currently standing on. And then once they capture that, it'll start a cart that then LSU needs to push all the way to the end to try to complete the map with some time left. After LSU goes, Carroll will get to go in kind and try to do the exact same thing, but in a faster amount of time. Or further than LSU did.
Right. If LSU doesn't make it all the way.
Yeah.
The Tracer. Wow, what a comp. What a throwback.
This is like classic
this really
Overwatch.
does feel like OG. It really is.
Anybody gets the first pick.
Did the May not have the ice block? That's crazy that she goes down that easy.
Yeah, as a
down
May
goes
player
Ana.
yourself, what have you got to say about that?
Despicable. It's unbelievable. If you're not dying last in an ice block while the rest of the enemy team surrounds you, like they're like trying to summon a demon out of your ice block, then you ain't doing it right.
We're gonna need some
again, the May's down again.
Yeah.
The May has some of the best survivability of any DPS, and she's died twice so far. Like I don't know what's going on over here. I'm gonna spectate the May for a minute. I'm gonna watch.
Bruv is popping up. I mean, already at 78% of
Okay,
all
that's
after
fair.
2 fights. A minute into a game is crazy.
Check the PC.
The other thing too, right, is that this Rhine is just walking down main with a shield, so Bruv can just charge up these railgun shots on the Rhine, and then right click and get a ton of damage on this like squishier targets.
Yeah, and there it is. Remember I was talking about Benny Boy and the antis being key. The Ryan almost, Mr. Speed gets down pretty low. He's isolated by the main wall, and there really is an opportunity there for LSU to win the tank battle, but Benny Boy hits the Bionade, and with the anti, Dante's not able to push up. He has to back off. Carroll resets, and now Carroll's up in a 5v4 again, thanks to Bruv. This is exactly what we were talking about in the pregame.
I don't know if you saw that, but the rest of LSU just tried to surround Spee. Like, after Soft Goes the Tracer went down, and the other 4 players went around Spee to try and isolate Spee, and Spee just popped Annihilation as a Ramatral, which does damage to every opponent around him. So it was really like that meme where they're like, call an ambulance, but not for me. And then Spee just cleans up. I mean, Constantine comes in to help get the cleanup, and after that, it's just an easy teamfight win.
Yeah. Bruv does have his ultimate and his perk, so expect him to cook. You do have 5 ults coming out of LSU here for this next fight. I really would expect them to be engaging with the Shatter here, right? Like that has to be what they engage. Tracer whiffs, unable to hit the sticky bomb onto Bruv, and so Bruv is, oh man.
What is going on? What is LSU doing?
I have no idea.
Come in with 5 ults and leave with 4 ults and just burn 30 seconds off the clock? I mean, that's a criminal team fight. But if you're a Carroll fan, you'll love to see that.
You'll love to see it. It's honestly almost baffling. Spee's gonna be up at another ult before they're able to get another team fight. And Carroll's gonna get to engage with 5.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that like these ults are so impactful, right? You want to start rotating them, so I feel like you should have at least committed 1 or 2. So we have the Nano coming in early, a wall, and then a pin, but the sleep to cancel the pin.
There it is. There it is.
The blizzard. So now a bunch of Carroll players are pushed off point, and LSU needs to take this space. No one is taking this space.
Bruv's ult doesn't get a ton of value because they push a little forward. Bruv does go down to a rallying May, but that requires the commitment of the 5th ultimate out of LSU.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, you're already down too. You're down your Rhine and your Ana, now you're down your Tracer. You only have 2 left on point with 10 seconds left. This is kind of a disaster class that we're watching from LSU right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, here's the thing that I think is really interesting and really kind of weird as well, right? So Soft Ghost rolls out on the Widow to start the game. Tries to take a couple shots, love it. You know, doesn't hit a single one, but whatever. I appreciate the effort, right? So they give it a shot, and they aren't able to hit any shots. At that point, if you go, wonder what that comp is. Oh, that's the new and improved Torb. You know that sticks his turd on ceilings. I know, I'm going to run the Tracer.
Yeah.
Like, what? What is going on?
Right, because then you're only taking the attack onto Bruv on that high ground, but Bruv has a Lizard Pocket, and you're not going to win a 2v1 as a Tracer.
No, and again, the Ana and Brig are just not in a position to make the push with a character like Tracer. It's just not enough support. Bruv backs off a little bit. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna send them both and leave Dante completely undefended?
Let's go! Let's go! This is what we wanted to see, baby! Give me the Bruv Widow! Give me the Bruv Widow! He said he's been practicing.
For those of you who didn't watch last week, Bruv rolled it out on the Widow. And Northeastern State, I think is what it was.
We don't even remember their name.
decided to stand out in the open like a garden gnome, and Bruv took their head off. Listen, if Bruv hits another shot, if Bruv hits another shot like that, it's just game. It's game because Carroll instantly gets a 4v5. They charge in and it's over.
We even are seeing Mr. Speed running it down on the Rhine. So Bruv is going to be peeking here with his scoped vision, and if he can find a target, he'll one-shot them on headshot. But LSU's doing a good job playing around this corner.
Yes.
But Bruv is coming out.
Bruv is sticking the Widow.
Let's go!
Bruv's going to roll out.
Oh,
Here we
that
go.
Ana is.
Got a
Oh,
line
come
on the Ana.
on.
He knows. He knows. Oh. Oh, that Ana is so close.
Oh, the Ana
No,
drops.
Bruv cannot see those outlines. We can see those outlines. Bruv cannot. Okay, listen. You know.
Well, yeah.
I like the Kiri swap. I think it's the right call. It doesn't matter, but I like it.
It's cool, but like it does not matter. And I mean, Bruv, I think just the threat of Bruv's Widow means that Carroll or that LSU has to play so far back, right? And so that means that Spee is able to take that space. We see Constorm get an early pick because there's so much space. And then we see this horrendous Spee Reinhardt running it down.
I don't think Spee Reinhardt did anything except like press W. Excuse
for real.
me. Press forward on his control stick. Goodness sakes.
Goodness sakes, get this guy a mouse and keyboard.
My good. In 2025, like, come on. Who's playing Overwatch with a roller at this point? No, but you're absolutely right. Here's the thing that's kind of odd to me. Why? I mean, I get the threat of the Widow. You got to be concerned about that. But why are you not playing up in that front building, tucked up with the Mei, to punish Choke? I mean, as a Mei enthusiast myself, why are you not popping a wall up the second that Spee walks through Choke?
100%.
And you can do that from the cover of that wall and have the ability to back into Hotel and rotate out back to point. You don't have to go through Bruv's sight lines. You're able to try and cut off and isolate Mr. Spee in order to get an early team fight win. Instead, they back clear off, sit only on point, and Carroll walks through for free. Bruv slides up onto the next landing and is able to keep both supports pinned in the most useless corner possible. And Carroll's already got all the space in the world without ever getting a pick.
Yeah, it's insane. Just a really great start from Carroll. I mean, we're going into I just got a message from Bruv. He said that Widow gameplay was not it. No, Bruv, hold your head high. You created more space than Mr. Spee did.
Man, Brady, we almost need to start holding after parties because these games are just going so fast.
Yeah, I mean, like we're supposed to be streaming for like a while. We've been streaming for maybe like, what, 40 minutes? I mean, we've been talking for only like 25 of them. Carroll's got to stop rolling so quickly. I mean, it's like, it's making our jobs too easy over here.
I booked off 3 hours of my calendar, man. I did not need to do that.
So we're going to Saravasa. We have seen Carroll play. We played against Northwestern State last week at Saravasa, I believe.
Northeastern State? Northwestern State? Who knows?
Some kind of state. Sorry to whoever we played last
some
week.
State in the north.
You should have put up more of a fight if you wanted to be considered relevant.
That's right. Doesn't matter if you're east or west when you're buried 6 feet under.
Oh, got him.
Get out
Wait,
that
was actually heat. That was actually heat. So the thing about Saravasa is that there's going to be 5 different points on this map, and it's going to be whoever can capture 3 the quickest. And I talked to Bruv about this at the end of last week because we know that Carroll in the past has... I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted by what I'm seeing. We are not going to see a Bruv Genji. Please, God, no. Anyways, Carroll has had a hard time in the past with this. I feel like these are usually their closest maps, these flashpoint maps. Because the hard part is that after you start capturing a point, it just takes up so much quicker than every other map. So this map is going to be a lot more fast-paced than the previous maps, I would say. And that... We'll see how Carroll has adjusted to that in the past week, recognizing that they have some problems with it. Oh my God, we are going to see the Bruv Genji. Tack it up.
There's a couple of things here to note as well about Flashpoint, right, Brady? You mentioned the fact that it ticks so fast. That's true. Like, you lose one team fight, and the point is almost lost sometimes, right? If it's an extended team fight, one can just be the end of a Flashpoint. The other problem is that there's a lot of transition points. It's a long walk, and there's a lot of times when players will run into each other while walking to and from spawn. And what happens then is that you get these little mini fights that can delay full team fights, but they can be critical. And so 1v talent is really impactful. And Carroll has played some teams with really, really phenomenal individual solo talent out of some of the other players. That makes it a little bit more difficult on Flashpoint. But Carroll's traditionally had more problems with Junkertown, or New Junk Stadium, New Junk Arena, whatever that one is, as opposed to Saravasa. Carroll does pretty well here on Saravasa.
Yeah, Consuram does get picked in the back, but I think that's probably just going to get res by Lizard. Yeah, Lizard gets that res
there it
off.
is. Again, they're running back on the Sombra. I think that the real target for the Sombra needs to be Lizard if LSU wants to have even a prayer. But Carroll's playing so well as a unit,
Yeah.
which is something that we've seen Carroll be doing all season long.
And Carroll's been doing a great job with their ultimates too. I mean, we haven't seen Carroll have to use too many ultimates, but all of them have been super effective tonight. I mean, Bruv's railguns have been able, or overloads have been able to like win fights by themselves.
Right. Spee's usage of the on the Ramatra, excellent.
Okay, Constant Rhyme with the headshot from the door. Okay.
Okay, Constant Rhyme does not get enough love sometimes.
No.
And that is our fault. It is our fault.
Yeah.
But Constant Rhyme plays what is a critical but oftentimes overlooked role on the team, where he does an effective job of protecting Benny Boy, who gets to use cooldowns that are game-changing. He provides just a solid point presence. He's running things like the Torb, the Cassidy. It's not as flashy as Bruv, but his role is critical in ensuring that Carroll's able to maintain the kind of space necessary to play in their style.
100%. Interestingly, at the end of that last fight, LSU's tank Dante P05, as we've been calling them, committed the Rampage from their ultimate, the Rampage, which hits as many people that are in the line of the Junker Queen and then puts an anti-healing effect on them. I think it only hit Constant Rhyme, and at the point that the Junker Queen got back into the fight, we missed. And here's a huge Junker Queen ult. 2 with the axe and then another with the knife.
If you want a tutorial on how you're supposed to use that ultimate, Mr. Speed, happy to oblige.
Yeah, Dante, watch that back. And I was gonna say, it was kind of funny because I had just been talking about how Carroll had been doing such a good job with their ultimates, and then we saw Dante whip out a really bad ultimate, so I like finally caster cursed the other team. You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah, and it's tough because I get the idea and the instincts from Dante to try and use an ultimate in order to turn the fight. I mean, it is the most one of the most impactful ultimates in Overwatch right
100%.
now. But the struggle there is that by wasting it, Carroll's able to get an early team fight, and if Carroll wins this team fight, the point's basically as good as done.
Yeah.
Soft Ghost drops in onto the Torb, is able to get out. Sober's coming with the EMP. Expect that. Oh boy.
Yeah,
here comes the EMP out of Sombra. Yeah, this is gonna be tough for Carroll. Oh,
Kill
he hits shot.
Oh, and the nano. Wait, this is not tough for Carroll.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Carroll clutches this? Wait, actually, okay.
Carroll had no business winning that fight.
No, I mean between the EMP and then getting Benny Boy super low, LSU just is not able to complete that kill for whatever reason, and that means that Benny Boy's able to get the nano off into Mr. Speed, which turns the fight. Huge plays from Benny Boy there.
Another impact here now is that Carroll's going to be going into the next one. You're going to have the Mercy Valkyrie. You're going to have the Junker Queen Rampage again very shortly. I mean, 2 just going to be game-changing ults.
100%. I mean, we do have Rampage coming up potentially on the other side and the Valkyrie, but I mean, they don't have the Valkyrie to start the fight. And then also, I mean, like, as we saw, Dante's Rampage was leaving a little bit to be desired, you know?
Yeah, I think if he engages with it to start the fight rather than waiting until the fight's almost lost, you know, there's a good chance that he can get some more value out of it. Oh, Dante's able to hit the knife on a Constant Rhyme. Pulling him out of position and getting an early pick. Ooh. Blizzard gets a res, though.
Blizzard gets a res.
That's worth it. You take that
Yeah,
trade.
you take that. You take that. I mean, Bruv switching over to the Tracer to get back extra quick and help support the team. I think the Tracer pick is also a pretty good switch. I just don't think we're getting quite as much value out of the Genji.
Yeah.
Oh, put him away! Put him to bed, Speed!
There is a swap over to the Curie as well. This is in preemptively knowing that the Speed Rampage is going to come out to try and cleanse that anti-healing effect that you talked about, Brady. It's going to have to be massive. That Suzu's going to have to be huge if LSU wants any chance of winning this game.
Here's the Rampage coming out. It does get quite a few members. I think, you know, it's almost the entire Carroll team. So, Dante, I'm sorry. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Blizzard's going to go for the res here. Is going to get the res off on Speed.
Oh, my God.
Holy
no
cow.
way. You're kidding, Blizzard. You're kidding, Blizzard.
The carry goes down, which means he's got free reign on the ultimate if he needs it.
Oh, my God. You're kidding.
Blizzard goes down. You're able to trade, though.
Benny Boy's still alive, too.
Goes down. It's a 2v2, but Carroll's going over the support up. He gets the nano.
Wait, that was actually filled. And he's got the perk that gives himself nano. So as he gets jumped by the Sombra, he's able to nano himself. and then also Nano, Mr. Speed at the same time, so they both stay alive and they clutch that fight. That was a crazy res for Lizard. Lizard popped off that fight. That was insane.
That's
I
crazy.
can't believe Carroll clutched that.
And this isn't gonna be a, oh my gosh, and there you go. You got Constant Rhyme just walling him off using the lava. This is gonna be a staggered trickling fight, and LSU's not even gonna touch. It's game. That's game.
Yeah, Snowghost does trigger OT, but goes down with 97% to an EMP, which would have been huge for this fight, but they're just not gonna be able to get that value.
Yeah, no shot. Carroll 3-0s it. Carroll doesn't lose a single point.
Uh-huh.
Carroll gives up a grand total of 34%.
Across three maps.
All 3 maps. Across 3 maps.
Honestly, just
34%
generous.
on Flashpoint.
It was a generous 34% for Carroll to do that as well. Like, I mean, Carroll didn't have to do that. They just decided to do that out of the kindness of their hearts.
Literally just the time that it took for Lizard to get the res off, and then Carroll was back in it. That was it.
Okay, let's watch this play. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that sleep is insane. Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Carroll wins 3-0
in
the semifinals.
There you go, folks. Semifinals done. Joe Burrow who? LSU. See ya. Carroll's on to the championship. Man, Brady, did you ever think it was possible? Did you ever think?
Maybe not while I was on the team. But I mean, Carroll has been putting in so much work. I think we saw last semester when they were in a different bracket, we saw them competing against players that are ranked a lot higher than them, but they were still winning maps and still winning matches just because they had so much coordination. I think that coordination has only gotten stronger over this semester, especially as Benny Boy, who used to be a Life Weaver player, actually has now gotten so good at the Ana cooldowns. I think that has really upped the overall game of Carroll College.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm actually like through the roof that Carroll College eSports, an org that like I was a part of, and like literally like the year before me had just started, is now like going to be playing in the finals and potentially winning the championship in eSports, which is just so exciting to see, especially the school that's like in Helena, Montana, has like 1,200 people, you know, like it's not exactly like you're pulling from this insane roster of people who play video games, but we just have found like such a key 5 that are so good at what they do and provide such great role support in everything that they do that like I think Carroll is definitely looking strong going into these finals.
Yeah, yep, without a doubt. What a performance. I mean, I don't even know what other team. I mean, we talk about it. We talk regularly about, you know, what can the other team do? What should Carroll be worried about? And time again, it's just Carroll running it down on their comp, on their comfort level. They're dictating the pace of the game. They are, and again and again and again, it is just devastating to enemy teams. And no team has had an answer for Carroll this season.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to take a quick second. We're going to get Benny Boy in here for a quick interview. So don't go away, folks. We will be right back.
All right, and welcome back, folks. We have Benny Boy here, our Ana player and fight turner, king, champion, whatever label you want to assign after that last team fight. Benny Boy, how are vibes? How's the team feeling?
Oh my god, it was after that last team fight. It was so electric. That was amazing.
What were the nerves like?
So hype in here.
What were the nerves like going into this game?
We were actually pretty nervous. I know this LSU team has beaten some pretty strong teams in the past, so you know I feel like at this point in the season we have a certain confidence about us, but we were definitely not like thinking this was gonna be like a walk in the park at all. Like this was definitely a team we prepared a lot more for.
Yeah, speaking of preparations, I think one thing that Brev had told me was that Dante, the opposing tank, was going to be playing a lot of Rhine. And then we saw in Ilios that Dante came out on the Diva. And we did see the Rhine come out a little bit on King's Row, but we didn't see a whole lot of Rhine gameplay. So did that kind of throw you guys off a little bit? Or how did you respond to that as soon as you started actually playing the match?
Well, when I first saw that Diva, I was actually pretty nervous. Like I wasn't expecting to play like a dive team, especially first point. So, I mean, that went away pretty quickly, though.
yeah, they were not diving,
Yeah,
so like I don't know what was going on.
I don't think I got dove a single time that first match. I'm gonna be honest. I was sitting in an ivory tower, just chilling, like having a cup of tea. Wasn't worried really.
You know, that is fair.
I'm pretty. Yeah, the whole first game, I hardly did anything, to be honest. I was just sitting back and like clicking on things.
Bruv was popping off that game.
Oh my! No, that first game was just unfair. Paxton had like more damage than their whole team. It was just
that's crazy.
It was not okay.
I'm pretty sure by our count, LSU got a total of 34%, which was on the final flashpoint. Other than that, I think it was zeros across the board on every other point. What is it that makes Carroll just stand out in this way in this division?
Again, I think a big thing is I mean, honestly, we've ranked up a whole lot during the season. I think the kind of players we're playing now are not the sort of players we will be playing next season. I think we should definitely move up in a division. Like everyone, I feel like on the team has gone up almost the full like few ranks.
And what have you done as a team in order to accomplish that?
I mean, it's just practice, lots of practice. We do some VOD reviews. That's really important too. I know I've learned a ton of stuff from Steven with the VOD reviews. That's definitely helped me a lot. Things that I probably wouldn't never think about.
100%. So you started out coming into this season, I heard, as a Life Weaver flavor, which is crazy. Well, that's what they were saying. That's what they were saying.
I think that's a little bit of slander, but
Brady, jeez.
That's just what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Yeah. But I was gonna say, I feel like
he wonders why he doesn't have a jersey after saying stuff like that.
I was gonna say, I think we've basically seen you play the Ana the entire season now. It seems like your cooldowns have become super effectively used. Your ultimates have become super effectively used. How have perks affected the way that you play Ana in the past 2 matches?
Ooh, so the sleep perk for anti-dive, it makes such a big difference. A lot of like alright, like tank players like Doom or Diva, like Ball, or even like Sombra or something. If you get slept and slowed, like it's over. It's just over. And the double bounce can be nice sometimes, but really a lot of these teams, I feel like after a certain point, they all tried dive. I think almost every team we've played, at least the past few weeks, have tried dive at some point, and just the sleep perk nullifies that so much. And then I really should be taking the headshot perk. I think you can get the most value out of that because it's just a permanent upgrade. Like you can always 2-shot people, but not quite there with the aim yet.
I don't know. You were kind of hitting stuff tonight. Like there were a couple of fights where you had the first pick.
Well, hitting 3 body shots is a lot different than 2 headshots. I don't know. It's just like a small thing. I think right now our team gets more value out of me also getting nanoed, but I'm hoping in the future with a little more like aim practice, maybe practicing more comp and quick play with that perk, I'll be able to just run that instead, and that will get consistent more value than just when I have ult.
I mean, and that's true, but to your point, it's gotten to the point that most every team is choosing to resort to the dive, and having that nano option available to keep yourself up when you get dove is such a big boost that just eliminates and makes one of the best answers against your guys' style just so ineffectual. And it just contributes significantly, I think, to I mean, we saw last team fight, Saravasa, right?
Oh,
that team fight came because you could nano both. Without a doubt.
That is true. I guess I didn't even think about that. I haven't. I've done that a couple times and I haven't even.
I'll send you my invoice.
yeah.
So now that you guys
the value for the self healing is huge. I've definitely noticed that a couple times.
So now that you guys have won semifinals, you're officially in finals, which for everyone watching at home will be when? Next week?
Next
2
Wednesday,
weeks?
right?
Hey Steven. Finals
We're gonna
next
find
week or
out,
the week
everyone.
after? Yeah, I think we have a 1 week break.
Okay.
So not next week, but the week after.
Okay, so 2 weeks we have finals. How are you guys
Wednesday
feeling
the
going
23rd.
Yes, that sounds right. How are you guys feeling going into finals, and what are you gonna do with your week off to get ready? More practice?
Oh, just so much practice. I know. I feel like we've definitely have a huge chance to win it, but we gotta prepare as much as possible. You never know what's coming. And
Who are
we
you expecting to see in the finals?
Oh man, was it between the Larks and Northern Michigan?
Oh, you
think.
rolled both
I'm
of
not
those
entirely
teams.
sure.
We're fine. We're fine.
The
No,
Larks.
we haven't played Northern Michigan. They're
Oh, really?
undefeated
Okay.
to my knowledge.
Yeah, but you
they
have
were-
played the Larks.
Yes.
Yes, the Larks are very good. I would say they're probably the team that gave us the most trouble. Even though I'm not sure the scores quite reflected that, but we were stressing that whole game. It was.
I think you lost a point to the Larks, which I mean, relative to the rest of them. Did they lose a full map? I don't think so. No.
no. Oh, okay,
They have
never
not
mind.
lost a map since I've casted.
Rolled.
The Larks, Brady, the Larks might have been the ones that took them to the OT in Kings Row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was that team.
Yeah, the 4-minute Kings Row. We were talking about that today. Yeah.
That was a really good map.
That was ridiculous. That was a crazy game.
Great. Well, Fetty Boy, thank you
Awesome.
so much for taking the time tonight. Best of luck preparing in the next week, and we're excited to see what you guys bring to the table in 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for tuning in and for chatting with us. And as always, go Saints.
Yeah, go Saints.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.